Well, the police in Anambra State have released fresh figures of victims of the attack by gunmen on Tuesday in the state. Now, gunmen killed officials of the U.S. Consulate and some police officers after ambushing their convoy along Atani-Osamala Road in Ogbaru local government area of the state. Two officials of the U.S. Consulate alongside two police officers attached to their convoy were earlier reported killed by the gunmen, while three others, including two other police officers and their driver, were abducted by the attackers. But the Commissioner of Police in Anambra State, CP Echeng, has confirmed that more people were killed during the attack. Mr. Echeng, who spoke on Thursday during a press conference in Oka, said 7 people, not 4, have been confirmed killed in the attack, while 2 officials of the U.S. Consulate were still missing. The police commissioner said 5 male officials of the U.S. Consulate and 4 armed mobile police officers escorted the officials from Lagos State when they were attacked by gunmen who also set their vehicles ablaze. The U.S. officials were on a mission to assess the impact of erosion in Ogbaru local government area. The police commissioner identified the slain officers as Booker Adams, Friday Morgan, Adam Andrew, and Emmanuel Lupata, all inspectors from Squadron 23, Police Mobile Force, Lagos State. Mr. Cheng said authorities of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, have informed them that apart from the 4 officers, 5 staff members of the agency were victims of the attack. The police did not, however, confirm if any of them were among the U.S. officials killed in the attack or those missing after the attack. The police commissioner urged residents of the state to support the police timeously with information about the identities and locations of the attackers. So that's where we are. And we do have John Akirele. Well, I did say John has joined us. Now let's welcome John formally. Good morning to you, John.
Morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for joining us. Now let's look at this attack and the police. Well, we do know that they could be overwhelmed sometimes, but the information that the Commissioner of Police in Anambra, Echeng, is saying that information did not get to the command on time. What do we make of this, knowing that there is that possibility that while the attack was going on, I mean, his men could have radioed the command, like, look, we are under attack or something like that. I think that's how it's done, isn't it? Oh, well, unfortunately, we seem to be having issues with the connection with John, and I do hope that is rectified on time so we can take his view on this topic. But in the meantime, well, that's the situation of things in Anambra. 2 people have been arrested so far, and the fact, the CP said, as you probably, I'm going to quote the Commissioner of Police now, when responding to questions, he said, as you're probably aware, a team of officials from the Lagos Consulate of the United States of America and their police escort were ambushed between 12 noon and that's 1200 hours and 1400 hours. That's 2 hours, basically, along Atani-Osamala Road in Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State by suspected Eastern Security Network, ESN, Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. And information about the incident was received by Anambra State Police Command through an official of the consulate at about 14:30 hours. Well, that's a long time. You know, if the attack started at noon and lasted till 2:30, one would expect that with the gunfire raging, people around there would have reached out to the police, called the police numbers. But unfortunately, what we're hearing now is that information leaked to the police command at 2:30, 30 minutes after the attack started. Well, 2 hours, 30 minutes after the attack started. That's interesting. Well, I do hope we have John back online. I do have questions, and try to make sense of this whole thing. Good morning once again, John.
Good morning. Can you hear me inside with me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can hear you a lot better, even really loudly this time around. Now let's look at the incident of attack by gunmen, said to be ESN officials, that's Eastern Security Network, some members of IPOB, on the officials of the U.S. Consul in Anambra State. They were from Lagos to Anambra State to, look at some places that have been eroded by flood. Unfortunately, they were attacked, people were killed. Well, we do, from what we have, know that officials, Americans were not affected, but these officials are mostly Nigerians. Now, what do you make of the fact that the police is saying that the Commissioner of Police in Anambra State, CP Echeng, released a report saying that information didn't get to the police in good time, but the attack, we are told, lasted from noon till 2 p.m. But officials of the U.S. Embassy called the police command at 2:30. Let's make sense of it.
I think my condolences goes out to people who are victims of this attack, most especially people of the Nigerian police force. These are Nigerians and they are members of the Nigerian police force. So let's consider to them and so that our hearts are with the family of the deceased. But I think there's something we need to understand from this point. If at this point, U.S. Congress is going to Anambra to assess the devastation of the land due to flooding, I think one is for assessment and two is to see how they can, bring it up. Don't forget that the U.S. and Nigeria have long-standing history of bilateral relationship, and they have been, helpful to us at critical times. And looking at this Biden administration, they have also retrieved their commitments into, fostering better relationship between Nigeria and the U.S. So this for me now, it's sad news, it's condemnable, and there's nobody in his right sense in this country that should say that this act should be encouraged. As a matter of fact, what is the offense of this U.S. convoy that we are attacked? Now, this is what we should look at. If we say that none of their citizens were involved in this or died in this, but people that died are Nigerians, and that's why I say that we must place value on every single individual and every Nigerian. This is a desperate act, and it should be condemned from every length and breadth of this country, and that should never happen again. And I don't want us to keep saying that the perpetrators of this act will be brought to book. I think we should swing into action and be sure that the whole neck of Anambra is fought, and these guys are brought and justice has revealed.
All right, now we also do know that initially reports that came out said, I think 2 people were killed, but the Commissioner of Police has come to say that more were killed, more people were killed, and some were abducted. Now, the abduction took place when the police confronted the attackers, and after gun battle, they were said to have escaped into the forest, abducted some police officials, and the driver as well ran into the forest. And now the police is asking for the support of the indigents around there, for information to trace them. Now, let's look at the issue of police officials having trackers. I know that in some parts of the world, you have some sort of trackers on you just in case you go missing. They should be able to trace where you are, trace your location. Is it that we haven't matured enough to have such devices, on our officials? We have it on vehicles, but then how about having them on officials, which will make it a whole lot easier? Knowing that you are going to a troubled zone. Anambra right now the East really is a troubled zone.
Well, I think Nigeria as a country has become a place where frivolity thrives, and our officials, rather than spending money on things that are worthwhile, spend money on things that are irrelevant. If you're asking this question, that how come we cannot have, spy cameras or trackers on our personnel, looking at the volatility of the area they are going into? But the question also goes to the politician who, apart from him, is having 10 police officers. The question also goes to the governor who has just less than a month to leave the office and is approving 3 billion naira for the purchase of vehicles. Now, 3 billion naira can be approved for purchase of vehicles, but 3 billion naira cannot be approved to get trackers for our security personnel. That alone speaks volumes, speaks loud even to the deaf. And that is the nation that we have become. So until we get to that point of repentance and say, behold, we are doing the right thing. Let's do the right thing. Let's put money where it ought to be. There's nobody that would want to join the police force willingly. Those who join on the basis of the fact that they are in abject poverty and unemployment side on the increase. Check, make it serve and ask people genuinely, how many of you would like to be a police officer? Okay? So, because people will not want to join because of the value you place on police officers, please go to other African countries and look at how their police officers, look at the kit of a police officer, and look at the amount it costs them to keep one officer. But come back to our own country, look at a police officer, and to even aspire to be a police officer will be a nightmare to you. So I think it's almost on our public officials to do the needful. If we do the needful, we'll spend less on all these troubles that we are going through and we are facing. And don't forget that we are the one causing this trouble by ourselves, by intentionally doing things that ought not to be done, by spending money on things that does not matter, by wasteful spending, wasteful budgeting on things that do not even add any value to the lives of people. 3 billion naira vehicle, of what value is that to that state? Of what value is it to the health sector of that state? Of what value is it to the people? Of what value is it to the teachers of that state? And mind you, he has always applies in other states. And this is the kind of leaders that we have. And later they say they're going to Senate. What are they going to legislate for you in Senate? Bunch of people without brain, big head. And I'm really sorry and I'm getting emotional, but I will show you that somebody's father was killed in Anambra now because of the ineptitude of some political office holders who told themselves to be gods. Now, as to the issue of the locals giving us information to police officers, let me stay clear on this forum that no indigene will be willing to give information to the police officer. Why? Because of the issue of trust and because of what they've had in time past. You will recollect that when there is an incident in your area and there are some people who come to invade the area and you give, even if you make phone calls to police officer, you will be shocked that in less than 24 hours, they will come knock your door and ask you, so now if I become police, so now if you give police information, now we and you in this area, we will know who will last. So that you leave the area for them because they will still come back for you after the person have gone. So it shows that the police on its own end does not earn the trust of the public so that they can share information with them in terms of due diligence. So there isn't a whole lot of overhauling that should be done. The police needs to, build back that trust that people can trust them more with information, and that when they give information to the police officers, those who are culprits, who should be apprehended, do not gallivant all around in the streets and say to those who even call the police officers, that please, you call them, they will arrested me, they release me. Let's see if you call them again, if you be allowed to call them again. And so such messages to these people give information, deter them for giving further information to police officers, even when it's happening right in their presence, even when they have eyewitness, records. And so police officers and people should do better to also have a safe society.
All right, now let's look at what the U.S. Secretary of State said, Anthony Blinken. Well, he said in a statement, he said the U.S. mission and its Nigerian counterparts were working to ascertain the location and condition of those unaccounted for. In all, there were 9 Nigerian nationals in the convoy, he said, and he did say the convoy was carrying 5 employees of the U.S. mission to Nigeria and 4 members of the Nigerian police force. Now, they were traveling in advance of a planned visit by the U.S. mission personnel to a U.S.-funded flood response project in Anambra State. Now, let's look at how this incident now, the deaths, the attacks, how this affects U.S.-Nigeria relationship.
Well, it's going to affect the relationship, if I would not lie to you. When you have this kind of experiences before now, if you recollect, in the same country, some citizens, US citizens were kidnapped, and it took the Special Marine Corps of the US Navy, to come into the country and rescue their own citizens by themselves. So, in terms of security, in terms of information intelligence, I think if given the free hand to come in, the US can actually ascertain where their people are, and they can go right there, pick them up, and discard them, like taking them hostage. Before now, I think the issue of trust, there has been issue of trust between not only US, now other, European countries trusting Nigeria in terms of security. And I think as a people, we should be worried about our perspectives in the international scale, how people perceive us will be whenever they see the green passports. And now I think this will dampen even the spirits of the leaders, even the Secretary General of US, even the President himself, Joe Biden, and even other relationships that have to do with Africa as a whole. I know that Nigeria, being the arrowhead of Africa, they channel more funds into the African continent. So this is going to affect us, and I hope that at this point in time, this is where diplomatic, visits and talks should come in and see how they can foster a better relationship in terms of security, in terms of programs that will alleviate the suffering of the people, so that when people live in a concealed environment, there will be low rate of crime. I think that is the message I want to pass across to even the U.S. convoy, the U.S. Consulate, the U.S. government, and Nigeria government as a whole, that we need to reduce more, unemployment. We need to reduce the rates of poverty more in Nigeria. And if you can use this to combat poverty and unemployment, I can assure you that crime will reduce by 70%. And I think in terms of relationship, our envoys, should set up a delegate at emergency now to see how they can, come into this issue and see how they can bring up diplomatic talks so that these ties can, be strengthened. And then this can also be a scale or a standard for them to also, appeal more to the US as a country so that they can help us more in terms of having secured country and secured borders. So it's a good one.
Now,
although it's a bad situation for them,
okay.
Good of it.
Okay, now appealing to the U.S. to help us secure the country. Now, isn't that in itself saying that our security agencies don't know their job?
Well, it's not that they don't know their job. It's just a matter of the fact that they do not have all that it takes for them to function optimally.
But trainings are being
Okay,
done
so when
from time to time. Collaborative trainings are being done from time to time. The US officials come down here to train our own people here. So they should have enough trainings to carry out some sort of action.
mind you, Nigeria is a very complex country with complex situations and complexities that that get unraveled day by day. When you solve one problem, another problem comes. Okay, it's a multidimensionally complex environment. Okay. Now, if we look at our policing from scratch is even, has a defect. Okay, so we must the policing needs total overhauling. Now look at the posting of those who come to even this US convoy. How do you get there? Is it through training and competence or because they are loyal to some organs at the top? And that's why they are placed there. So we must come to a point where people come, from the recruitment process. I don't know if you've been to the police college in Ikeja, and you can look at the state of facility or infrastructure of where they are training police officers, who after graduation will pour them to the streets. So you can see that from even the training center, this set of frustration, this anger, this not complete training, is being there. So that defect is from Genesis, it's from the beginning of the training. So even to the time they have a uniform, they tell you to buy their own uniform, buy their own boots. Maybe you should take a stroll to a police station near you and complain of something. They will tell you that you need to buy paper for you to even write your statement. It is that bad. And so let us not close our eyes and feel like, oh, all is well. All is not well in the Nigerian police force. Okay? So don't look at those organs you see with their blue and black fine uniform, wear iron. When you want to see the reality, go to those barracks, check the state of the barracks, look at where they live. And somebody will secure a bank and live in this kind of environment, and while sitting in the office, you see millions and billions of naira coming out of the bank, and look at where he's living. And when others come to the bank, he wants him to defend the bank, his own life. And look at where he's living. Look at the state of welfareism that is accrued to him for doing that kind of delicate job. So there are so many things that need to be changed when it comes to policing. Now, when it comes to training, yes, we have our training, but in terms of manpower, we don't have enough. Okay? And I think with time, we should look at other countries that have this land mass in terms of forest, reserve areas. Other countries that have it. Let's look at what they do with their own forest. Let's not make our own a place, a hiding place for criminals. When we say kidnappers struck, the next thing here, they move into the forest. Kidnappers, elements struck, they move into the forest. Can we do something to that in the same forest? If the forest was of 6-7 states, can these 6-7 states come together and form an agricultural hub where the whole of the forest can be cultivated, join by these 6 different states, and then we have enough food to go around the country for all our people. And then there will be no hiding place for the criminals. So there will be no case of you're running into there's no longer a forest, now we found settlements. Okay, so these are areas I think we should do. Now, if you're talking about this saying the US can come for training to train us or not, I think when there are issues that is at this critical point, critical decisions must be made. What happened has happened, people are dead already, we console and we commiserate with them, but then it's also a platform for you to even seek for more help. Because now it shows that the country is really helpless. If ESN guys can attack the convoy and kill 4 or 5 police officers, that's it for you. That's it for you. So we need help. It's an indication that we need serious help in terms of security. And it's a good call for us to do right now.
All right, truly, yes. Well, I think 2 were killed, and then some were abducted. 3 were abducted. 2 policemen and the driver. So yes, truly, apparently we need help. We need help. Nigerians need help. And are we going to see a situation like what happened some years back, where the U.S. Navy will come in to assist the Nigerian army to get these people back? But you know that in that instance, citizens of the U.S. were involved, do you think now that no citizen of the U.S. is involved, they might do that, or will they just assist our own officials to rescue them by not not coming here but doing it from over there?
They might just help us. They might just help us, But in terms of them coming in, I don't see that happening because their own citizen is not involved.
Yeah.
And that will show you, the worth they place on just a life. Even though it's not in the US, the work they place on the life of their citizens, just one person. And you can see that a whole squad, a whole team will move all the way from America to Nigeria to save just one person. And here we are talking about 3, 4, and even the army, like I said, it's just 10. The numbers don't matter to us. It's just 10, it's just 5, it's just 3. I see they are normal days. Okay, this is it. I don't see the US coming in, to do that same operation, but I think they can help. Why? Because the issue of trust also. Don't forget also that, the other time during the Boko Haram era where they came in to assist and they were saying that even within the military, that they are saboteurs. And so they trust themselves in terms of their own operation. That, okay, if I'm seeing that there's a man behind me, he's going to member of my team, they tell me, go, I can trust his words. We are all together in the team. But when we have other people join our team, you don't even know who and who is taking out this information because you are not in a trusted environment. And that is what is happening. So that is why I don't see them coming in. But if it's for their own full squad, that they know how they operate, I think that can work. But with the infusion of our Nigerian military, I doubt if they can come. They can only give advice or give intelligence in terms of mapping, in terms of location, they can do all of that. But for them to come in themselves to rescue these people, I don't see that happening.
All right then. Well, we do know that we're having disparity in information here, and one would wonder why. Why is it so? The U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said 5 missing, according to the information he has, but the Commissioner of Police is saying 2 missing. So there's a disparity of information. What do we make of that? Should we take that of the commissioner who is on ground?
Before now, they can tell you it is 2. Additionally, it's now 3. The latest report is now 5. Breaking news is now 7. They will tell you that is what they have intensively. But I think I'll believe more the US report, because before they come out to give you figures and statistics, they have their facts, it's been fact-checked, it's been confirmed, before they can come out and give a press statement. Like us who, even by yesterday, without even confirming, we express all of this information and we say, everything that can always come from that press release, So as we first press release that we done. So I think I'll go with Blinken if he says 2. His own reports, because before somebody of that career can come out to give such a statement, he must have brought his figures right, and his due diligence must have been done in terms of background check. So for me, I'll go with the US report, but for our own case, I trust it still coming in.
All right, now the issue of collaboration between Nigeria and the US, we do have some officials in Nigeria saying that they were not aware of this visit from Lagos to Anambra. The governor of Anambra, he did say, or he was not aware of the visit from these U.S. officials from Lagos to Anambra. What do you make of that? Bearing in mind that the project is known. It's a U.S. funded project to fix, flawed, eroded roads in that area. But hearing that the governor saying that he was not aware of the visit, what do you make of that?
That is also the lackadaisical attitude that I've been talking about. The governor of a state happens to be number one citizen of that state, and reports that is stable every day.
Sure.
And I'm not saying the governor must be at every length and breadth of the state every day, but report must get to him. So the questions should ask is this: this project was, embarked upon, when was it initiated? In which local government? Which local government chairman? Or under which directorate was the money for that project released to? Because it's US funded. Who are the supervisory agencies that supervise the projects? These are questions to be asked. So, don't even come out and say that he's not aware, he's doing his back on his own face, and the people are not. It shows that we don't take responsibility for things. Those do anyhow like a governor saying it's not aware. So where is the local government chairman? At least that project was situated in the local government. Okay? Who are the supervising agents? Because you can't tell me that the US is funding the project and they come in their own workers come and work in Anambra. No. So who are locals? Who are the contractors who do these projects? The areas to the government or not? What is the commissioner in terms of flooding and humanitarian services in Anambra? Are you saying that the commissioner is also not aware of this project when it was completed? Now the government seems not aware. I think it's people to research that from this statement of this governor, so many people should have been getting this paper immediately because it shows that they have been found wanting in the place for their responsibility and delivering that gift of service that the government announced. Right. And they are fearful. They just resign already and get out of the office. Because even the government saying that it's also a snap. But there's no face. Then this was the same man who, when the flooding case came, he came on chance on that stations and was begging national agencies for funding, begging to come to their aid. Now US have come to your aid and they're saying you're not aware. Something is wrong somewhere. And I think the governor is the person that can act the same question. You should not say that, rather, all agencies on board, not for someone, and emergency is all the DGs of government agencies and ask them, which of these agencies is in charge of this, and why is that this against my table? And from before the close of the day, they started to be trained immediately and start these people and get people that can do this job well, and then come on board and start another people well and good.
All right then. I must say a very big thank you to you, John Akirili, for joining us on this show today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for pleasure.
All right then. All right then. Well, we do have another topic coming up shortly. Is someone, well, if you're someone dreaming of being a world record breaker, you definitely will not be the first. Well, as it's often said, it will be difficult, but not impossible. And that conversation will be coming up in a bit, where we'll be looking at world record breakers and those who have found their way, Nigerians particularly, who have found their way into the Guinness Book of Records. We'll take a little break. When we come back, we'll delve into this one.